The water is freezing. Julius Caesar stands on the muddy banks of the Rubicon, a shallow, unremarkable river in northern Italy. To cross it with his army is high treason. One step forward will ignite a civil war, tear his homeland apart, and pave the way for an autocratic empire. His soldiers wait in the morning mist, their armor clinking, breathing in the cold air. Caesar hesitates. History tells us he muttered the die is cast and plunged into the current. But what if he didn't? What if Caesar, looking across that dark water, orders his legions to turn back? By retreating, Caesar avoids the label of traitor. But the crisis is far from over. Imagine the Roman Forum. The air is thick with panic. The Senate, led by Caesar's fierce rival Pompey the Great, is preparing for war. Instead, a messenger arrives. Caesar has disbanded his legions. He demands only one thing: a peaceful path to run for consul. The Senate is stunned. Without the threat of an invading army, the senators cannot justify declaring martial law. Pompey, stripped of his excuse to seize absolute power, is forced to negotiate. A fragile compromise is struck. Caesar returns to Rome not as a conqueror, but as a citizen. But here is the twist. The Republic is saved from civil war, but its deep wounds remain. The gap between the rich patricians and the starving plebeians is still a ticking time bomb. Without a dictator to force reforms, how does Rome survive? It adapts. Out of sheer survival instinct, the Senate is forced to change. To prevent another popular general from marching on Rome, they grant greater rights to the common people. They extend citizenship to the provinces. Instead of collapsing into an autocracy, the Roman Republic evolves into the world's first true representative federation. This changes everything. Without the rise of the emperors, the map of the world is rewritten. There is no Julius Caesar to conquer Egypt, meaning Cleopatra remains on her throne, and Egypt stays a sovereign superpower. There is no Augustus to establish the Pax Romana through iron-fisted military rule. Instead, Rome's expansion slows down. It becomes a republic of trade, not conquest. And then, the dominoes truly begin to fall. Without the chaotic civil wars of the 1st century BC, the Great Library of Alexandria is never burned. Centuries of scientific, mathematical, and philosophical knowledge are preserved. The transition of power remains stable. There is no sudden, catastrophic collapse of the Western Roman Empire. No dark ages. Picture this. A world where scientific progress never stalled. Where the steam engine is invented in the 2nd century instead of the 18th. Where humanity reaches the stars while our actual ancestors were still fighting with swords. And what about democracy? In our timeline, true democracy virtually disappeared for over 1,000 years after Rome fell. It had to be painstakingly rebuilt during the Enlightenment. But in this alternate timeline, the democratic experiment never died. It grew, adapted, and spread across the globe. Our modern parliaments and congresses would not be modern recreations of a dead past, they would be the direct, unbroken continuation of a Senate that survived. One step back at a shallow river. That is all it would have taken to alter the course of human civilization forever. Would you prefer to live in a world shaped by Caesar's ambition, or one saved by his restraint? If this journey into the archives of What If ignited your curiosity, hit that subscribe button. We have many more timelines to explore together.